got our brother Ryan Godsey out, and we knew it as soon as
There's the
we heard the
train.
train coming. Yeah, we but hopefully it won't be too terribly loud, and we can get Norman to speak up because he kind of has a little girly voice, right?
Yeah, my voice hasn't reached puberty yet.
But guys, as you can see, we got Ryan. He is out on his boat. Ryan, what are you doing? I mean, what
I'm
kind of
actually
fish?
fishing.
What?
I'm fi- I'm fishing a tournament, guys. Like we're doing a it's called the Dream Chasers Bass Club Classic. It's a 2-day classic. One day here on Chickamauga, and tomorrow Sunday is on Nickajack. But today we started very early this morning, and I wish I could be there with you guys in person, but it does feel a little bit better to be out here on the water. I know that.
Well, I mean, we don't blame you. We don't blame you at all. But
So
what?
how you doing so far? You got any fish in the box yet, Ryan?
So we have a limit for about 13 pounds right now. It's a 3 fish limit. We have a 5, a 4, and a 2.5, about a 2.5. We're trying to call up at two and a
Only two
half
and a
to.
half.
That's what we're trying. We're trying. We we've not since this morning, since that cloud cover went away. The sun peeked out for a little bit for a few hours, but this morning, I mean, we caught the far out of them. But it's just,
That's
I mean,
what
after that
Norman and I
sun
were
come out,
talking about.
yep. After that sun come out, it got tough. Which right now I'm
Yeah.
doing a big fish pattern. I'm punching grass, just trying to get a
That's what I was
big
about to say.
bite.
It looks like you're flipping.
Yeah,
So,
I'm punching.
yeah, what did this morning? What were you doing this morning
This
to be able
morning.
to get those fish?
So this morning, actually, our first keeper come off a frog. It's one of the new Berkeley frogs. Uh, we put a rattle on the back of it to get a little bit more sound out of it. But
Yeah.
then the other 2 fish that we've caught. Here, let me step over that. Uh, I threw a custom. Oh, hey guys, y'all fail. I was throwing this custom
That's all
this
right.
custom crankbait that's custom made. Throwing it on my Dobbin 7 foot crankbait rod, and then
Yeah.
this morning I was just throwing
Now,
it throwing
now
a
on that
frog.
crankbait rod, yeah, on that crankbait rod, what is that? A medium with what kind of action
Uh,
does it have?
it has so this rod right here is it's a this is one of the Fury series. So it has a. I mean,
Yeah.
this is one. I
Your
mean,
phone
this is
fell.
just. Oh, hey, we're gonna have to find y'all another place to set up. That ain't working out right there. So, but this one is the seven
Just don't
foot.
drop it overboard.
I know if it goes in the water, we'll have a good talk with the fishes. But this is the
Yeah.
705 crankbait rod, the Fury series. Here, I actually walk back down here. You can take over, Devin. Yeah, we got some good fish in the live well, so I'm actually getting to be able to talk to y'all, which I was hoping would happen. So this is the
Yeah.
705 CB. This is the Fury series. So it's not a very expensive bait. I mean, expensive rod. This is one of the old Shimano Chronarchs. Throwing it on 10-pound K9 line. Just throwing this little bait around. If you can look, it's so beat up from all the fish I've caught. Like the day I've cracked it, I'm gonna have to go
Let's
home
see.
and re-dip it and silicone and try to make it look
Now,
good.
Right.
how
But
deep does that bait run, Ryan? You fishing pretty shallow right now, or?
we were fishing pretty deep, but I was catching some suspended fish. But then here, I'll show y'all the frog that I caught it on. The first one on. This is that Berkeley Swamp Lord. I don't know exactly what color this is, but if you can tell, we put that rattle on there to give it a little bit more sound. But
Yeah.
I fell in love with this frog since I've been able to put my hands on it. So it's
Yeah.
been really cool to get my hands on that frog. And then we've caught a few fish on a shaky head and and a an Alabama rig.
Yeah, did
Well, I'm about
the
to
big
ask if
fish
you
you got?
found
I was
a
gonna say
rig.
the big fish you got in the box. Did it come on the flog?
No, they come on. The 2 biggest fish come on that crankbait.
Crankbait.
Yep.
So how many boats are in the tournament that you're in? Do you know?
I think we had 17 boats qualify for the classic. I think we had, like I said, 17 boats qualify for the classic, and I'm not for sure on how everybody else is doing. I've talked to my dad, which I'm actually fishing against my dad today, which is super cool. He's fishing with my grandpa, and
Heck
when I
yeah.
last talked to them, they have won. So, I mean, I'm just
Who
happy
do you
to
have?
have a.
Who do you have with you?
So I have Gavin Smith with me. He's one of my closest friends that I fished the whole season with, and me and him fish so much together that we know each other so well. We make such a good team because we can do two different things at the same time.
Yeah, that makes a big difference to be able
Yeah.
to have somebody in the boat with you.
Oh yeah, and that's like we talked about when we was fishing earlier when I caught those two big fish. He asked me. He goes. I'm gonna pick something else up. What should I pick up? And we just started talking, trying to communicate to each other to say, hey, try this or try this, and that's when he picked up that shaky head and just threw it around a little bit.
Yeah. So are y'all throwing any kind of like swim bait yet, or is that?
We did this morning. Right now we're on a big grass flat. Pretty much, we're just trying to get a big bite right now. We weigh in at 2 o'clock, so I mean we don't have very long left. It's 12:35. We're happy to have the contingency to win tomorrow because we're actually get to go to my favorite place, which is Lake Nickajack, and
You
I'm going to
gonna be
make the.
going after green, or are you going after brown fish?
In the morning, I'm going to go after brown. That's the only logical way for me to. I would think I would have the same amount of weight I did today. We fished. We fished last month. We fished down there, and Gavin, he actually put a hook in his hand, so I had to fish that one by myself. He actually had to go to the doctor and get that one out. It was so bad, I couldn't get it out myself for him.
And you can tell him I said this, but a good partner would have fished with a wounded hand.
Hey, he said a good partner would have fished with a wounded hand.
The cool thing
He
about
said it was hard.
the cool thing about a 2 day, the cool thing about a 2 day tournament, Ryan, though, is you don't have to be leading after day one. You just have to be in contention, right? So as long as you can stay close going into tomorrow, anything's possible.
And that's what I told everybody this morning when we were signing in. That's what I want. I wanted a chance because I knew Chickamauga was going to be tough.
Yeah, you just want to be in striking distance going into day two.
Yeah.
If you watch the results from the CBA last week, some of the best names here on the lake, like Kevin Drake, Seth Davis, Brett Butler, and all of them, they didn't do it what they were standing to because of how tough the lake is actually fishing right now.
Yeah, it is actually fishing pretty tough. But then it didn't help when you had the the Hobie Classic or whatever. Fishing. I mean, they fished all week. They practiced from Monday and finished up yesterday. So I mean,
yeah. And that's like today they have a tournament out of Dayton. They have a tournament out of Saudi, which is where we're taking out of. That's us. I think there's a tournament out of Grasshopper. I know there's a tournament out of Chester Frost.
Yeah,
I think this afternoon. This afternoon it starts at 1. I think it's either today or tomorrow that starts. It's a tournament that Jax puts on. We just started it. I think this is going to be the first one. Is today or tomorrow? I'm not for sure.
Yeah. Is that tournament? Is that tournament going to be weekly, or how often is that tournament going to be?
I'm not really for sure. I haven't really been able to sit down and talk with Jamie Jones. We talked about it a little bit when we talked about starting it.
Yeah.
But
that's
I haven't been able to.
Doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's next weekend.
That's next weekend? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how confused I am.
Yeah. So let's talk real quick I mean, if you want to get up there and start casting, man.
Oh no, you're good. We're sitting here. We're sitting in an area where we talked to like a little bit ago on the phone, and I asked my partner Gavin. I said, "Hey man," I said, "Where do you want to be at when we do this?" And he told me this little area. I knew I could sit down because of
Yeah.
how it's a small area. It's not a big enough area
Okay.
for both of us to be casting at.
Good deal. Because we don't want to take any time from you, but let's talk like in with it being kind of late fall, fixing to be early winter here in next month or so.
Yeah.
What is your favorite kind of technique and baits that you want to that you're going to at this time of the year?
Yeah, it really depends on on the weather and everything like that, the water temperature and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, it's going to be a moving bait. It's going to have to be
Yeah.
either a jerk bait or crankbait or a swim bait. Which here in my hand, this is a Kitech with a Berkeley head, and then this is a Rapala DT8. Normally, I throw a 6 or I throw a 10. Which
Right.
today, when we were fishing, we actually found this 14 floating, and we got it out of the water. And it's got all this line on it. We found that one floating today, which it's pretty hard
As I say
and everything like that.
that one might be have bit the dust. So
Oh yeah, I think we're gonna put it up on the wall at the shop.
yeah.
So, and then also, I think truly, to be honest with you, these new Berkeley dimes. So this is 4. I've been able to play around with it since Miss Kim's got it in the store. It's got a real
That
nice
is
rattle to it.
that's a loud knock.
It really is. It has a real loud knock to it. So, do you got one? Or you got grass? Okay. I looked up and his rod was bent a little bit, and I was like, "Uh oh."
Hey
But
Ryan, in your opinion, do you feel that there's resident fish offshore that pretty much stay out offshore all year long as they have what they need out there to keep them out there? Or do you feel that the majority of the bass move in? You know, rule of thumb is the bass start moving in around fall,
yeah,
transitioning, and the transition period moving in from the outside deeper water. Do you feel that there's resident fish offshore that pretty much stay offshore all year long, no matter what time of the year it is?
I really think there is. I think there is resident fish that stay out there, but I'm not one of them guys that are able to chase them. I'm
Yeah,
not that. I'm not that good in my standards. I'm not that perfect yet. There's some guys that can go out there and throw like a blade bait. Like this is a Demiki vault with a blade on the back of it. These guys that can go out there and throw that will catch them. And I mean, there's some guys that can go out on every day in the summertime, in the wintertime, in the fall, and just whack them on a blade bait. Even when there's fish up shallow spawning, this at that time of year, there's still going to be fish out deep. That's where they live. That's where they
Yeah.
spawn, and that's what's crazy to think is I think some of our bigger fish like that do spawn very deep.
Right. Yeah, and that's and a lot of people like how you said you like throwing the crankbaits and stuff. Uh, but a lot of people don't realize that even in the wintertime that you could still burn them deep crankbaits and
Yeah,
get big fish burning them. They think once it starts getting cold that you have to slow everything down, and that's not really the
yeah.
case.
It's not really the case. I mean, you can look out on like now the fall time. The bait is moving so fast. You have to keep a crankbait moving. Like that little crankbait I'm throwing right now. Like that little crankbait. That reel is only a 5.5 to 1. I'm not
Yeah,
moving it fast. I'm not making it move fast. I don't want it to move fast because it's a balsa bait. And it's just one of those things. I don't want it to move too fast and make it go sideways or swim wrong. I want it to swim like it's made to do,
well,
and
then
there's
also
baits for that.
right, and that also crankbaits though they tend to you got to have that pace on that perfect pace to it. or it does,
Yep.
like what you're saying, it does dart to one side or roll over or something like that. So
Yeah, I've had a
that
few
is,
crankbaits do that over the years that I've looked at and I've worked with, and I've just been able to just look at, and it gets me because I find some baits that I like that are just ah. We just had a big fish just swirl some bait right in front of us, but like what we're looking at right now is we're looking at just a big grass mat that we've fished the whole season, which
yeah,
I'm gonna stand back up and just start casting because I want to keep up with what he's doing, where he's casting and stuff like that. Because if we miss a fish, it's gonna get us. But
yeah,
but yeah, but
but yeah.
like I can't get my
Go
reel to
ahead.
come undone.
Yeah,
But like I was saying, like with that crankbait bite, I mean it's a certain time of bite. It's not if it's not the time for it, it's not going to be the time. And there's some times for that.
yeah, yeah. Brian Backus said that that was the Hobie Tournament of Champions, and they had a great tournament. Yeah, we had
That's
a
good.
good friend of ours, Gino. He ended up finishing sixth. He was in second place going after day two. So
Yeah, that's what I told Gavin. I said I don't want to be in first. And I don't want to be in last going into the last day because everybody knows that day two can completely change a person and change how the team works.
yeah, that's
Which
true. And where are y'all going out? Are y'all going out of Marion County?
yeah, we're going out of Marion County,
Good deal.
and I like that going out of there because you do have people that can fish that lower end. You have people that can fish that upper end, and like me, I'm going to make that 30. I'm going to make that 30-minute run, and I'm going to make that 35 to 45-minute run, and just attempt to get a big brown one. Because if you get a big brown one and it's 4.5, 5.5 pounds, you're caught up and you're able to do what you will need to do, and that's where you set your day and what you need to have the rest of the day.
Yeah, and I mean,
That's like
just make
that's like we
yourself
started
happy.
off with that 2 pounder this morning. We knew if we had 7 pounds, we would be okay. And I caught that 4.5, and I was like, okay, well, we got 7 pounds now. Now we need to figure out what we need to do. And we went around another corner, and we caught a 5, and I was like, okay, well, that makes a difference.
Yeah, that. Uh, I mean, but it's good to know that. I mean, just your next cast. I mean, you could easily be calling that 2.5 pounder. Right? So,
And that's like literally like last tournament we had here on Chickamauga. I did catch a 9. What was it? 912. 912. And I mean, we didn't think we was gonna catch a 9 pounder that day. It was still warm. It was still hot. You don't expect to catch a 9 pounder, but any cast here on this lake is a game changer.
yeah, and that's. But I mean, where you're fishing tomorrow, I mean, can also do the same thing too.
That's right.
And I
Which
mean,
I've caught a lot of big fish down there.
yeah. And so, but I'm glad to hear that you're actually going to split it up though, in between going after some smallies and then eventually switching it over to
Largemouth.
uh, going for some largemouths.
Yeah, so the
I think
cool part
that's
is about this tournament, I mean, it's a tough way to fish it. Like we've done this all season. It's not just a thing that we do off and on. This tournament is a 15-inch largemouth, 15-inch smallmouth, 15-inch spot. If you catch a 15-inch spot, it's going to be 2 pounds
yeah.
to three
It's going
pounds.
to be like two. Yeah, I was about to say 2.5, 3 pounder right there.
Yeah,
15
and
inch.
so going up there, literally, if you're fishing a regular tournament, that they got to be 12 inches. You're not fishing for you're just fishing for keepers. You're not fishing for a quality size bite.
Yeah,
Which we literally we I fish Nickajack and Gavin fishes Chickamauga, and that's how we set up practice. Was knowing one of us was checking out another place, knowing one of us was able to fish one place and the other.
Right. So, your camera
I
dropped.
fell. Yep, I hit a wave. I felt the wave hit. I felt the wave hit.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of figured
So
that, and I seen the. I think he disconnected. But Norman, let's while until he gets back on here.
That was awesome too to have Ryan on the water, and if he gets back on, fine. If he doesn't, we want to wish Ryan good luck today.
Yeah.
Hope he has a good day, and then going into day two, hope he puts it together.
Well,
And,
I mean, he's on Nick and Jack enough that
well, they're on Chickamauga today, right?
yeah.
Oh, he got that.
Uh, but he was just talking about that we think that with that Ryan's on Nick and Jack. I mean, so tomorrow if he just
Well,
stays
he's
in
on Nick and Jack
contention,
today.
no, he's on
no,
Chick.
I'm on
Nick and
Chick
Jack.
today.
Yeah, Nick and Jack tomorrow. And I think though that if he just stays in contentions, I mean, Nick just, I mean,
Yeah,
within like 4 or 5 pounds,
well,
I think with how he is on Nick and Jack, I think he's going to be set up.
well, that's true, and that's when you're fishing a 2 day event like Ryan is. That's what you really got to do. You don't necessarily need to be lead going into day two. And a lot of times when I fish 2 day events, I don't want to be leading. I want to be the follower.
Yeah, that's
But you don't want to be too far behind. You got to stay within that 3 to 4, no more than 5 pounds back.
yeah.
That way you know you have a chance. Anytime you know you have a chance going into day two, you know you could have a, and you don't know what everybody else is going to have either. You can get the guys that's leading and totally bomb. So, but you
That's right. And I've had that kind of tournament. I've fished 2 day tournaments where I've led the tournament, and I mean day two. Actually, let me put it in perspective. I've actually had it happen this year on Lake Chickamauga here. I was fishing the AVA championship, and I had 15 pounds day one. Had a great day one. Didn't think I had 15 pounds. And day two, I went out and I caught 5 pounds of spots.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah, I mean, and that right there, I mean, that hurts when you get only 5 pounds. So,
oh
but
yeah, and
real quick,
it,
let's talk because we already got you on here for 23 minutes, and we don't want to hold you up too much longer. But how has Jax been able to help like keeping you out on the water and some of that? Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know that I mean they have helped you considerably about being out on the
yeah,
water.
Miss Kim has been one of my sponsors for years, for about 4 years now. But before I was even fishing professionally, before I was traveling and doing it, Miss Kim and Chuck, I mean, they helped me out so much. They helped me if I needed a bait and I couldn't get it from somebody else, they would try to get it to me next day delivery. I mean, Miss
Right.
Kim has come through and she gets baits in that some people don't get, and there's some baits that us pro staffers come to her and like, hey, we want this, or and we want to see if it will sell in the store.
Yeah. And
And that's
and that's
and it's like she just got into Berkeley Nessies, which the Berkeley Nessies has been out for a little bit, but she hasn't got them in. I've got one tied on. I just haven't been able to throw it today. I haven't really paid attention to it. You know what I mean? I've had my mind on certain areas.
well, I mean, and sometimes I mean, again, like what you're saying, you got areas that you know you want to fish, and a lot of the times it's the areas that you want to fish and the fish that you're trying to catch is you got to throw certain baits. So
Yeah, and that's
right
like
now that Nessie just don't fit in the arsenal right now to get
yeah,
you
it's
straight
like
now. So,
I fished the ABA the 2 day thing I just talked about. And day one, I ran out of baits. Day two, oh, after day one, I had to run into the store and get I bought almost every pack she had of a certain color brush hog.
yeah,
So I
yeah, that
mean,
brush hog. That's I love throwing that brush hog.
That's one of my favorite baits. It's the bait I grew up learning how to fish, and since I've become a little bit better angler, I've thrown it, I've messed around with it, I've tried to do some different things with it, like cut in half, use it as a trailer, throw it on different weights, throw it on different techniques, just seeing if I can get some different things out of it.
So, well, we had you on for 25 minutes, brother. We're gonna let you get back to it. Hey, again, what time is your weigh-in today?
We weigh in at 2 o'clock, so I'm going to weigh in really fast, and I'm going to try to make it down there with y'all guys for a few minutes before y'all leave.
Yeah, and we're gonna try to. We might try to get you on again, and you can tell us how your day went and where you're sitting.
Yeah, I would love that, man. I'm gonna rush. Since we're putting in at Saudi, I'm gonna weigh in super fast, and then I'm gonna get out of there, man, so I can make it down there with y'all and spend some time with y'all, and try to help you give it away.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that old Jamie and Chuck's got some fish fried up for you.
Oh, they better, because I didn't eat breakfast this morning. I just wanted some fish for now.
I'm going to tell them that you said if they don't have fish, you're going to come out here whooping some tail.
That's right, son. I'm going to come out there having a fist fight.
That's right, brother. Hey, good luck to the both of y'all. I'm glad y'all got a limit on it, but I do need you to call that 2.5 pounder.
Yes.
I'm going to try to, guys. We ain't got much longer. Once I get off here with y'all, I think we're going to make a run back up the river a little bit. We're down the river, so we're going to try to make a run back up and see if we can call that thing out closer to the ramp.
Put a 6-pounder in the boat, give yourself a 4-pound swing there, buddy, and come out.
Hey, I promise you, we've been asking for that 6-pounder all day. So, all right, guys, I'll see y'all this afternoon.
See y'all